Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from St. John's Prep School in Danvers, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity boys soccer contest between the hosting Eagles of St. John's Prep and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Should be a fun Saturday morning contest here. The Warriors have gotten out to a bit of a rough start to this new season, 0-3-1 through their first 4 games. That one tie, a scoreless tie, that we were actually there for in my last stream. But they've lost all the others that they've had so far. So they're hoping for a strong showing here. Going up against a prep school, always kind of a tough matchup. St. John's Prep, pretty strong opponent. We'll see how they fare in this one. A reminder, as always, if you end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Unfortunately, with these varsity boys soccer games being unlisted, I don't think subscribing helps too much with that, but for all of my other broadcasts, helps you stay up to date with them, as I've got plenty of games on the docket for all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. So, if you want to keep up with some of the other BHS varsity teams, or if you want to see like some of the youngsters waiting in the wings to take over in future seasons, then subscribe to the channel. That can help. As always, I encourage our audience participation through the live chat, or you can send me an email if you're not comfortable with YouTube's live chat system. It could be something as simple as Go Warriors, could be an individual shout out to a specific player. You could let us know where it is you're tuning in from, any technical difficulties you notice either with the audio or the video. Of course, if I'm mispronouncing any names, I appreciate any corrections given to me so I can give these young men the best coverage I possibly can. And of course, as you can see on the bottom center of your screen, this broadcast, along with all regular season fall broadcasts this season, is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, that is 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. And you can find all that information in the description section down below. You can find some other links down that description section. Among them, you can see a link to the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club. If you would like to send some money to support the Brookline High Soccer program, the Friends of BHS Soccer support all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, varsity, JV, freshmen, boys, and girls. So if you're feeling generous there, then I encourage you to send some money that way. 5 minutes on the pregame clock. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to run our intro video, and then I'll see how much of the rosters I can get through before we get this game started. From St. John's Prep in Danvers, Massachusetts, Warriors versus Eagles, you are watching Brookline High Soccer. deflecting across. Corralled by Brookline. Shot is in! Wally Lawrence throwing it into the box. Header from Lockwood. Knocked down. Kicked is in! Grady Ames! Can he deliver the winner here? Yes! All right. That was our intro video. And now we're about ready to almost get this one started. About 3 minutes still on the pregame clock. So let's read through the roster as quickly as we can. And we'll start with the visiting Brookline High Warriors, seen here on our right in white jerseys with dark blue jersey numbers. Going in order of jersey number 4, Brookline, first off we have a sophomore, number 2, Sammy Treestman. Next, a senior captain, number 4, Jack Fitzgerald. A junior, number 6, Kai Putney. A junior, number 7, Jacob Friedman. A senior, number 8, Ben Speicher. A senior, number 9, Maury Shende Ruiz. A freshman, number 10, Danmarth Dovillier. A junior, number 11, Koya Nicoli. A junior, number 12, Ryan Goldberg. A sophomore, number 13, Julian Weil. A sophomore, number 14, Jeffrey Dong. A junior, number 15, Santi Sierra. A junior, number 16, Jad Torres. A senior, captain, number 17, Grady Ames. A senior, number 18, Josh Bittner. A junior, number 19, Travis Applebaum. A senior, number 20, Aiden Kapusta. A senior captain, number 22, Nate Lockwood. A junior, number 24, Wally Lawrence. A junior, number 25, Jonah Lippman. A senior, number 26, Frederick Schreiber-Wachnick. A senior, number 27, Timur Tunkman. A freshman, number 30, Lars Peterson. A senior goalie, number 98, Luca Campbell. And a junior goalie, number 99, Alec Smagula. Head coach of the Brookline High boys soccer team is Kyle Bolu-Jones. And I don't know if you guys could hear that over my commentary, but we do have a PA announcer here at St. John's Prep, so that's pretty neat. Well, it seems like we still got a little bit of time before we get this started, so let's see if I can read real fast through the St. John's Prep roster. I got this off of Max Preps, and sometimes that can be a little buggy, but hopefully I've got it as accurate as I can. Going in order of jersey number for St. John's Prep, they actually had 2 players listed as number 0. I'm not sure which one is 0 and which one's 00, but one is a senior, Selin Heslin, and one is a junior, Matthew Dragidis. Next, we have a senior number 3, Sam Corning, a senior number 5, Matt Theodore, a senior number 6, Grant Magnuson, a junior number 7, Finn McCabe, a junior number 8, James Miner, a senior number 9, Matthew Foley, a senior number 10, Jack Quigley, a junior number 11, Garrison Murphy, a senior number 12, Roman Hlachwayo, a junior number 13, Owen Beanie, a junior, they got 2 listed as number 14, a junior Gus Nugent and a senior Jack Neal, a junior number 15, Ryan Levis, a junior number 16, Leaf Johnson, a junior number 17, Ryan King, a senior number 18, Sam Sabella, a junior number 19, Joe DeCesar, a junior number 20, Brecken Curran, a junior number 21, Matt LeBlanc, a junior number 22, Ethan Waskelowitz, forgot to write down the year, but number 23, Noah Lear, a sophomore number 24, JJ Kulalis, a sophomore number 26, Joshua Githinji, and a junior number 30, Michael Hutchinson. Head coach of the St. John's Prep Boys soccer team is David Crowell. So that is the roster that I've got for St. John's Prep. Brookline, as I said before, trying to bounce back from a rough start to the season. They've started their season off with a 4-1 loss to Natick, then a 2-1 loss to Needham. Had their home opener against Cambridge Range and Latin School and fought to a scoreless tie, but then followed that up with another road loss 2-1 to Wellesley. Brookline playing most of their games on the road, and they have not won or even tied on the road yet. They're hoping for a better result here today. We'll see how things go. Warriors versus Eagles. Brookline versus St. John's. 40 minutes on the clock for the first half. Here we go. A long opening pass back by the Eagles. Long kick upfield. Fighting along the far side, and it's controlled by Ben Speicher, who sends it back to Alex Magula. Kicks it up the middle. Intercepted, tapped forward, and cut off by Smagula. Number 10, Jack Quigley, was trying to set things up for number 19, Joe DeCesar, but just a little too far. We got a foul call as Brookline a little too physical going up for that high bouncing ball. Came in underneath the body of a St. John's player. And now the Eagles get the free kick. Number 8, James Miner, launches that one out to the far corner, keeping it in bounds, and getting the favorable deflection was number 9, Matthew Foley. That'll set up the game's first corner kick. Foley sets up in the corner. Lefty kicker. Kicks it in a little too high, but the clearing kick was whiffed and recovered, and did not, no trip call there, as Brookline now trying to clear it out. Stolen back by number 15, Ryan Levis. Deflects back and forth. Several players getting a foot on it here. And finally ricochets back to Grady Ames, who passes it up to number 7, Jacob Friedman. Taken back by the Eagles. Pass upfield, misses its target. Speicher sends it back to Smagula. That pass aimed at number 6, Grant Magnuson. Couple deflections and lost out of bounds. Deflected again by Foley. Throw in for the Eagles, who are winning the possession battle early in this one. Throw in, far side. Kept in bounds barely by Magnuson. Off the ricochet, it's controlled by Quigley. Quigley coming around, crosser blocked. Poked loose, but recovered by Wally Lawrence. For Brookline, that was a nice stop by number 4, Jack Fitzgerald. Intercepted once again by the Eagles, sent back to James Miner, who sends it back to the keeper. Back over to Miner. Boots it way upfield, long leading pass, and could not be cut off by Littman, and Fitzgerald swoops in and kicks it away, as that was a huge chance for DeCesar. But instead it'll be an out-of-bounds throw-in. Clutch breakup by Fitzgerald there to possibly save a goal. Quickly with the crosser, it's blocked by Ames and rolls out the back end. It'll be another Eagles corner kick. Number 30, Michael Hutchinson, kicks this one in, line drive. Knocked away by Brookline, but chased down again by the Eagles. Pass outside to Hutchinson, tries another crosser into the box. A little high, but it's headed straight up in the air. Headed out of the box by Fitzgerald. Corralled by number 24, J.J. Kulalis. Long shot taken off a hop by Smagula. Smagula boots this one across midfield. Knocked down by number 12, Roman Hlachwayo. Now a pass up to Magnuson. Tried to send one up and kicked away from DeCesar, and Brookline trying to work it upfield. Pass to the middle, gets to Lawrence. Lawrence lost control of it, and they're going to call him for the foul there, as got the hand on the shoulder and pulled down number 7, Finn McCabe. Free kick from the goalie. Goes off the head of Littman the wrong way. And kept in bounds by Fitzgerald, but he kicks it towards the middle. A little dangerous, but booted away by number 14, Jeffrey Dong. Kicked back, taken by Lawrence. Pass over to Friedman. Sends a long leading kick for Dauvilliers, but it's kicked away by the keeper. Upfield taken by Magnuson, but stolen back. Going up the far side, I believe, is Friedman. Kicks one forward, but nobody there. It's just going to bounce into open space and be corralled easily by the netminder. Simply taps it out for number 15, Levis. Levis pass knocked out of bounds by number 19, Travis Applebaum. Kicked upfield, a nice back foot pass from DeCesar, but broken up by Fitzgerald to prevent a rush by Magnuson. Smagula punts this one. Deflects off Levis and sent back from McCabe to Miner. Miner boots it upfield. Magnuson taking off after it, but Speicher gets there first and kicks it out of bounds. Hlachwayo setting up to throw this one in. Goes over everybody and just flies out the back end. That'll be a goal kick. Smagula boots this one, deflected down off the head of McCabe. Deflected back, taken by Lawrence. Lawrence pass back, Applebaum sends it upfield to Friedman. Friedman couldn't stay with it. And out of the battle for the ball, Hutchinson, stolen back by Lawrence, but kicked away by McCabe. Deflects off the foot of Lockwood, corralled by Lawrence. Pass back, Applebaum. Sends it up to Friedman again. Friedman taps it back for Ames. Ames sends a leader, blocked by Levis. Almost a chance for Dauvilliers. Applebaum passes across, tapped forward. Dong crashing in and broken up by Miner. Sent out the back end, and Brookline is going to have their first corner of the day. Some nice ball movement from the Warriors there as they get their first real attack chance off that one. They set up for the corner now. Flies in low over the head of the Brookline player that was trying to go up for the header. Clearing kick by McCabe is blocked, but a second try from Kulalis gets up there. Off a deflection, it's Nate Lockwood. Pass over to Applebaum to Ames. Touch pass Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers trying to work around a couple defenders. Dong in to help keep possession, but that pass back intercepted by Quigley. Quigley manages to pass away from the double team to Hutchinson. Hutchinson's pass wide, intercepted by Littman. Littman dribbles back, passes it back, a little bit dangerous, and it's taken away by DeCesar. DeCesar sends a leading pass up the far side. Diving in and falling on it is Smagula. He's trying to send that leading kick for Foley, but just far enough that Smagula was able to fall on it there. Foley's kick deflected several times. Scrum for the ball. Lockwood comes away with it. Pass back to Speicher. Up the line. Off a deflection, that's Lawrence. Lawrence pass across the middle. Applebaum swoops in, takes it. Pass up to Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers tried a give and go with Applebaum blocked by Levis. Pass out Kulalis. Sends it upfield, intercepted by Fitzgerald. Over to Lockwood, up for Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers couldn't keep control of it, knocked away by Levis. Kulalis sends it up the line for DeCesar. DeCesar, pass to the middle, intercepted, that's Dong. Dong fights through the trip, gets it up to Ames. Ames across for Lawrence, but disrupted, taken away by Foley. Pass up to Magnuson. Fitzgerald muscles it away. Pass out to Lawrence, to the middle. Lockwood. Lockwood couldn't fend off Quigley. He takes the ball. Quigley couldn't fend off the pressure from Lawrence, and Lockwood recovers. Lockwood dribbling. Quigley on his back. He passes it across to Applebaum. Pass intercepted by Hutchinson. Now over to McCabe. McCabe, leading kick for Magnuson, too far. It's going to be scooped up easily by Smagula. Smagula punts it, bouncing along off the head of Minor, off the foot of McCabe. Near side, Kulalis boots it, off the head of Littman towards the middle, off the head of Lockwood, and Littman boots it away. Kicked back by Levis, off the head of Lawrence, off the head of Kulalis. DeCesar tries a touch pass, intercepted by Lockwood, but taken back by Hutchinson, up to Quigley. Now recovered by Foley. Foley sends a leader for Quigley, cut off again by Fitzgerald, who's had a number of nice defensive plays early in this one. Got our first note in the live chat from Yuli Burstein, big game go Brookline. Chlachwayo throws this one in, knocked out of bounds by Fitzgerald. We're about 11 and a half minutes into this one, about 28-20 on the clock here in the first half. No score as of yet. Chlachwayo throws it towards the box, headed away, kicked back, saved by Smagula. Quigley had to kind of awkwardly kick that one out of the air, and so the shot not as powerful as you might have wanted it. Made for a relatively easy save for Smagula. Dauvilliers applying pressure, knocked out of bounds. St. John's ball. Levis throws it back to Minor. Now sends it back to the keeper. Sends it out near side back to Levis. Levis boots it upfield. Up to Magnuson, who tried to touch it forward but couldn't control it enough to get it out to DeCesar. And now Smagula boots it out, far side for Lawrence. Lawrence up the line for Friedman. Friedman stops, trying to cut Nowhere to cut, well covered. Pass back, booted up high in the air, offsides. Ames and Dauvilliers were trying to be in the vicinity of that pop-up pass from Lawrence, but a good move by the St. John's defense to jump up and trigger the offsides. DeCesar fights through Littman and it gets blocked on the kick there, out of bounds, St. John's ball. Levis getting set to throw this one in. Couple deflections. Levis chases it down. Kick to the middle, off the head of Ames. Corralled by McCabe. Back to Hlachwayo. Upfield, off the head of Lawrence. And now a battle on the far side is won by Friedman, and he gets tripped up. Foul is called. This one booted up high in the air. Dauvilliers trying to chase after it, but it's snagged out of the air off the bounce by the Eagles' keeper. Throws it in to Kulalis, battling along the near sideline, knocked out of bounds. St. John's ball. Levis comes up to throw it in. Off the head of DeCesar and knocked out of bounds by Brookline. 25-20 on the clock here in the first half. Throw into DeCesar. Tapped back Levis. Levis boots it across the field off the head of Lawrence. Race for the ball. Foley corrals it. Tried to send a pass back but couldn't get enough on it, and it rolls out of bounds. Bunch of subs coming in now for Brookline. Among the players coming in, I see number 11, Koya Nicoli. I think I saw number 12, Ryan Goldberg. Try and keep track of them as they come across my screen. Throw in, tap down from Lawrence to Nicoli. Pass back, Speicher up to Lawrence. Bit of a tight space. Gets a pass through to Nicoli. Nicoli weaves around one defender. Nicoli rushing in. Out far side. Goldberg. Crosser. Nobody there. Kulalis chase it down and gets kind of hip checked by Ames there. That's going to be a foul. Long kick from Minor. Speicher boots it out of bounds. So among the subs was Nicoli, Goldberg, and number 9, Maury Shende Ruiz. Throw in from Hlachwayo. Headed towards the net. Battle, and Fitzgerald wins to knock it away. It's deflected back, but taken easily off the hop by Smagula. Another big defensive play from Jack Fitzgerald. Booted upfield, knocked back by Minor. Tapped down by Quigley, controlled by Hutchinson. Sends it up to Magnuson. Magnuson tries a kick, but deflected by Fitzgerald. Recovered Applebaum. Pass up for Shende Ruiz, but couldn't fight through Levis. Pass to the middle, Hutchinson. Pass for Quigley, broken up and booted away by Goldberg. Up to Shende Ruiz. Couldn't get it past McCabe. Pass outside Foley. Foley rushing up with it. Pass misses Magnuson. Fitzgerald couldn't keep it away, though. Magnuson sending it forward. Might have wanted to go for a shot there instead of a pass. There was no real place for DeCesar to cut to. As that goes out of bounds. Levis throws it in for Hutchinson. Hutchinson to the middle to McCabe. Outside to Foley. Back to Hlachwayo. Booted up in the air for Quigley. Headed out by Fitzgerald. Could not keep it in. It'll be a throw-in for St. John's. 22 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Still no score. Hlatchwayo throws it in. Off ahead. Recovered by McCabe. Touched out. Hlatchwayo boots it towards the box. Off a bounce and offsides call on St. John's. Smagula boots it across midfield, off the head of Levis. Lawrence trying to down it, but Hutchinson cuts him off. Pass across to Miner, who kicks it away. Off the head of Applebaum, off the foot of Lockwood. Lockwood controls it. Taps it for Applebaum, who sends it to the middle to Goldberg. Goldberg trying to keep control of it. Deflected away, recovered by Lockwood. Back to Applebaum. Up the line to Ames. Ames sends it up for Shene Ruiz. Cut off by Miner. Kicks a leader for DeCesar. DeCesar fakes, cuts. Pass forward, Magnuson stops, looking, juking, sends in a shot. No, it's a crosser, and got past Smagula, but could not find its target, Foley, as he was well covered by Speicher on the far side. Now up the field to Lawrence. Lawrence launches one. Oh, just wide of the net. Wally Lawrence almost broke the game open with that shot, as it got past the outstretched hands of the Eagles' keeper, but just wide of that far side post. Subbing in now for Brookline, number 18, Josh Bittner, replaces Nate Lockwood, as St. John's sets up for a goal kick. Cross midfield it flies, off the head of Speicher. Booted away by Littman. Ames boots it further upfield, gets to Lawrence. Lawrence surveying his options, kicks a crosser too high. Nicoli going to chase it down in the corner, keep it in play. Sends it back to Speicher. Speicher kicks it forward into the box, but it's taken off a hop by the keeper. Quickly punts it away while losing his balance, goes off the head of Applebaum into open space. Kulali recovers, and disrupted by Ames, recovered by Bittner. Out to Applebaum, to the middle, Goldberg. Back to Speicher. Speicher trying to dribble up with it. Speicher got some room. Speicher still going. Now loses control of it. Rolls out the back end, goal kick for St. John's. Subs coming in on both sides. For Brookline, number 7, Jacob Friedman back into the game, replacing Lawrence. And a number of subs coming in for St. John's. We see their first wave of backups. Among the backups in for St. John's, I see number 22, Ethan Waskelowitz. And I'll pick up the others as I can. Number 13, Owen Beanie, I see out there. And they call a push in the back on Fitzgerald, as he was trying to cover number 18, Sam Sabella. And so it'll be a free kick for St. John's, just across midfield. James Miner setting up to kick this one. 18 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Miner's kick flies towards the box, deflected across, booted away by Applebaum. Off ahead, off another one. Hlatchwayo pops it up in the air, kicked back by Goldberg. Shende Ruiz controls it. Pass miscommunicated, sending that crosser, and it's intercepted by Levis. Now this kick from Waskelowitz intercepted by Applebaum. Applebaum sends it up to Friedman. Friedman running up with it. Pass gets deflected and kicked away by Levis as he cuts off Applebaum there. Ames recovers the ball. Ames fighting through one defender, fighting through another. Stays with the ball, launches a long kick, and it's going to bounce wide of the net. Goal kick. Off ahead. Applebaum kicks it back. Knocked the other way by Minor. Couple deflections. Still scrumming for it. Bittner sends it back to Applebaum. Up the near side to Friedman. Friedman leads one for Ames. Ames one-on-one with Minor. Tries a kick. It's blocked as the help defense arrived. Clear is recovered by Littman. Back to Fitzgerald. Outside Speicher. Back to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald. Pass. Misses Bittner wide. Kicked back by Waskelowitz. And then sent the other way by Littman. Off the head of Levis. Out of the middle. Bittner recovers. And now kicks one up. Finds his target. Goldberg. Pass Friedman. Disrupted. Recovered Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers. Dribbling up. Shot wide along the far side. Brookline's gotten a few shots, but they haven't managed to really get any of their best shots on net. Goal kick flies, knocked down. Friedman recovers, kicks a leader for Dauvilliers, misses his head, and Hlachwayo boxes him out and allows the keeper to swoop in and pick it up. Rolled up the far side to Hlachwayo. Now sent up the line, deflected, controlled by McCabe. Sends it up the far side, another kick, leading for Sabella, and it's knocked out of bounds by Littman. That leading pass came from number 20, Brecken Curran. It'll be Hlachwayo throwing this one in. St. John's packing the box. Presumably that's where the throw-in's going to go. Flies in, knocked back, and out of the box. Friedman boots it upfield. It's a race to the ball. Dauvilliers got a couple steps on the defenders. Dauvilliers doesn't have a great angle, though. Has to turn around and look for a pass. Sends back for Friedman. Tried to touch back for Dauvilliers, but intercepted by Levis. Levis kicks it upfield and popped up in the air by Fitzgerald. Applebaum boots it across midfield, headed back by Levis, off the head of Bittner. Corralled by Sabella, but kicks it too far, and it's going to be taken off a couple hops by Smagula. Just over 14 minutes on the clock here in the first half. Still no score between the Warriors and Eagles. Off the head of Minor now. And Levis trying to corral it. His pass goes out of bounds. 4 subs checking in for Brookline as they get ready to take possession along the far side. Coming back in, we see Dong, Lockwood, and Lawrence. And coming in for the first time, number 15, Santi Sierra. Applebaum looking for his throw-in targets. Throws it into Sierra. Taps back to Applebaum. Applebaum fakes. Now boots one high, a bit wide of where Friedman was cutting. And it's taken off the hop by the keeper. Punts this one. And it's recovered by DeCesar. Pass to the outside, cross to the middle. Sabella taps it forward, but too far forward, and it's scooped up easily by Smagula. Rolled out far side for, I believe, Lawrence, who boots it upfield off the head of Dauvilliers. Controlled by Dong. Dribbles to the middle. Pass intercepted by Hutchinson. Hutchinson pass near side Waskelowitz, now to the middle, and now out to DeCesar, who is called offsides. Applebaum with the free kick. And it's cut off and knocked out of bounds by, I think, is that Sabella who knocked that one out? Yeah, I think Sabella's been moved back to the defensive line. Lawrence throwing it in. Flies towards the box, headed away. Booted back by Bittner, I want to say. But the keeper boxes out and lets it fly out of bounds for a goal kick. Goal kick up the far side. Levis bringing it up the far side, kicks one forward. DeCesar with a breakaway chance, but Smagula lays out to cover up that advance. And I was wrong. Sabella didn't move to the back line. The one back there is number 16, Leaf Johnson. Johnson taps that one forward, kicked back by Sierra, just wide of Friedman, and it's controlled by McCabe, who sends it back to the keeper. Now sends it out near side Johnson. Johnson, back foot pass from DeCesar, cut off by Littman. Sends it up the line. Johnson boots it back the other way. Littman, Hutchinson. Now DeCesar with the ball. Back to Hutchinson. Up the line to Waskelowitz. Now to the middle to Beanie. Beanie sends it across to Levis. Up the far side for Curran. Now to Beanie. Forward intercepted. Now pass to the middle, Lawrence trying to battle through Hutchinson. And they call the foul on St. John's. 10 minutes left in the half as Brookline sets up for the free kick. Fitzgerald pops it out far side. Curran couldn't control it, goes out of bounds. Lawrence throws it into the box, headed out by McCabe. Curran kicks it upfield. Lawrence touches it for Lockwood. Lockwood sends it back to Fitzgerald. Outside Lawrence. Lawrence fakes, dribbles. Slide tackle knocks it away, recovered by Lockwood. Out to Bittner, up for Dong. Dong deflects it forward. Dauvillier, a big kick, but it goes high. Dauvillier, despite the awkward bounce there, actually almost got a good shot off. Trajectory just too high. Keeper kicks it upfield off the head of Sabella. And a battle on the far side. It goes out of bounds. St. John's ball. Levis throws it in. Booted up in the air. Off the head of Lockwood. Tapped back to Johnson. Johnson trying to fend off the pressure from Dauvillier. And forced to pass it back to the keeper, who boots it away quick. McCabe to Beanie, cut off by Sierra. And Johnson walls it there. It deflects out to Kulalis. Now back to Johnson. Further back, Minor boots it away as Brookline was applying the forward pressure there. And this one bounces out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball. Throw in up to Sierra. Tapped back, Applebaum. Applebaum looking around. Pass back, Lockwood. Lockwood pops it up in the air. And it deflects the wrong way. Dauvillier charging in. Cut off by Minor, but Dauvillier recovers the ball, looking for an angle. Crosser sent back. Lawrence, a shot, but it was slightly whiffed on Lawrence. Crouching down, looks a little hurt. Hopefully he is okay as play continues. Sierra passing to the middle, cut off by McCabe, up to Sabella. Now back to Beanie and across to McCabe. Now outside to Levis, up the line for Foley. Cut off by Lockwood there. Now controlled by Minor, up to McCabe. Across to Johnson. Johnson up to Kulalis. And now Magnuson trying to fight for position there. And forces Littman to tap it out of bounds. 6.5 on the clock here in the first half. Both teams still looking for their first score. Johnson throws it into the box. Off ahead, straight up in the air. McCabe couldn't get a foot on it. And almost a chance there, but too much traffic, and the kick was kind of whiffed on by Sabella. McCabe sends it back to Levis, back up to McCabe. McCabe sliding pass, gets up to Quigley. Now to Sabella, tries to touch it outside. Foley couldn't quite keep it in bounds. Bit of confusion. It is a throw-in, not a goal kick. Speicher throws it in off the head of Foley. And I think that one went off the hand of a St. John's player, so it'll be a free kick for Brookline. Speicher boots it upfield, off the head of Nicoli, and into open space, Kulali. Couldn't keep it in bounds. Applebaum throws it into Lockwood, and miscommunication between Lockwood and Applebaum lets that one roll out of bounds. Johnson throws it back to Minor. Tapped back Johnson. Up the line. Magnuson. Littman kicks it back. But now intercepted by Quigley. Kicks a leading pass. Far side Foley. Crosser into the box. Over everyone's head. And Applebaum lost control of it there, out of bounds. .4:15 now on the clock in the first half. Johnson throws it in. It's a scrum for the ball. Deflected back, Johnson. His pass deflected by Nicoli. And it's booted away by Sierra up to Dovillier. But he gets swarmed, and it's taken away by McCabe. Sent back to the keeper, Jad Torres, racing after him to apply forward pressure. And the kick is deflected out of bounds. Eagles ball. Throw in lost control, bad deflection, and it'll be Brookline ball as Shende Ruiz checks back into the game, replacing Dovillier. Pardon me. Applebaum throws it in, bouncing along. Kicked away by Levis, kicked back by Nicoli. Ames trying to sweep through, and his shot launched high. Grady Ames had a golden chance there. I think the only other thing he could have asked for is maybe that it would have been on his right foot instead of his left, but could not make the shot there. Long kick, tapped back by Littman, recovered by Beanie. Pass across finds McCabe. McCabe swooping through. McCabe leading for Magnuson. Magnuson a shot wide and high. Both teams get a decent look at the net. Magnuson had a bit of a more limited angle than what Ames had, but both still got decent looks, and both just launched their shots high. Smagula Kicks it towards the near side, headed by Kulali. Lockwood recovers it, pass back Applebaum, upfield, knocked away by Johnson. Magnuson taps it forward, kicked back by Littman. Controlled again by Lockwood, boots it upfield, racing after it, Shende Ruiz. It's booted out of bounds by the keeper. Applebaum throws it in. Sierra. His crosser is blocked, and that flies out of bounds. Brookline will get its second corner of the half, the first corner from either team in a long time. We had a couple of corners for St. John's early on as they had controlled the possession game pretty thoroughly in the opening minutes, but Brookline has fought back, and now they're setting up for a corner here in stoppage time. Jad Torres setting up to kick this one. Flies into the box, too high, out of reach, and cannot be kept in bounds. It'll be a goal kick for the Eagles. The scoreboard clock frozen at 2 minutes to represent stoppage time. The only way we'll know when the half is going to end is when we hear the double whistle from the officials. This one booted towards midfield, tapped along by Quigley, kicked back by Speicher. That pass cut off by Hutchinson. Quigley dribbling with it, sends it forward, cut off by Speicher. Speicher's kick blocked out of bounds. Quick throw in, up the line for Ames. And there is the double whistle, and that is halftime. No score here at the half. In the opening minutes, it seemed like St. John's was going to dominate this game possession-wise, but Brookline able to make some adjustments and really fight back through much of that first half, as by the end of it, things seemed pretty even in terms of offensive chances. During this halftime break, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate, personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. All that information in the description section down below, as is some other helpful links, including a link to the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, if you would like to donate money to support all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. Also down in the description section, a link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. To date, through the first 10 years of this scholarship fund, it has raised about $1.5 million in scholarship funds for graduating BHS students. Your help is crucial to supporting Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Once again, 617-566-4442 or go online to brooklinecommunity.org. And all those links and phone numbers can be found in the description section down below. But for now, it is halftime. I'm going to take a a brief break, take off my headset, but I'll be back with the second half of this ball game. Stay tuned.
So I'm listening to you broadcast here. Where's this being broadcast to?
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube? Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
How do you get all the names right?
Oh, well, I've got the rosters written down with everybody's name and just rote memorization.
Is that
You
right?
see a number, you'll look up the name, and then you just repeat it as much as you can until you remember it.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. So I've watched a few of these on YouTube, and auto, right?
Yeah.
For the ones that are broadcast, I've always found it amazing that, you guys get the names right. I mean, especially for high school, right? And there's so many kids.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So do you, when you say you do this for YouTube, do you follow a certain school? Or?
Well, I'm a freelancer, so I go
Okay.
with whatever school hires me. Brookline is, one of my most frequent clients, so I cover a lot of theirs for a
Okay.
lot of different sports.
I see.
But yeah, I work for whoever hires me.
Is that right? So I didn't even realize that was a job. So that's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
well, I mean, in a way, it's sort of a job I made up in a sense, but yeah,
Yeah. So what though? That's a
yeah,
good deal.
exactly.
I mean, for especially like with this particular sport, sometimes the games are at odd hours. So as a parent, I can watch it from home.
Exactly.
Because guys like you are doing this. So how long have you been doing it?
A few years now.
Really?
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you stumble into it or?
Yeah. Well, originally I was just going to do it as a way to like build a reel so I could apply to work somewhere at a real job.
Yeah.
Um, but then I realized that schools were paying me for this, and I was like, okay, let's see where that goes. And then, I just built it up from there, and now it's what I do full time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Do you get to see any interesting games? Or?
Oh yeah. There have been some good games that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
What other sports do you do besides soccer?
Let's see. In the fall, I do soccer, field hockey, volleyball. Um, in the winter, I do basketball and ice hockey.
Oh, wow.
In the spring, I do baseball, lacrosse, volleyball, and rugby. And during the summer, I do summer youth baseball and some semi-pro football.
So you're going year round.
Yes, sir. Hey, you want to make a living? You got to go year
Yeah,
round.
no, I got you. I got
I
you.
ain't working for Nesson right now.
Right, right, right. Do you, any of your highlights get picked up or?
You mean like by a network or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, at least yeah.
That's really cool.
Thank you. Hello again, everybody. Back on the mic, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, here to bring you the second half of this high school varsity boys soccer contest between the Brookline High Warriors and the St. John's Prep Eagles. No score through the first 40. Now we got a fresh 40 on the clock for the second half. We saw some scary attack chances really from both sides. You know, if you were to give an edge in the overall possession game, you'd say St. John's probably had a slight edge in the possession game as they were especially dominant possession-wise in the opening minutes. But in terms of the quality of chances, really Brookline got some of the best shots off in that first half. Let's see what we get here in the second half as Brookline gets the opening possession. Nate Lockwood boots that one out to the far side, and a long shot is going to bounce wide on the far side, wide of the far side post. Long shot coming from Wally Lawrence. Quick goal kick up the near side to Hluchwayo. That one knocked out of bounds by Lockwood. Roman Hluchwayo throws that one in up the line, and Jonah Littman cuts it off defensively as number 19, Joe DeCesar, was trying to break away for that chance there. St. John's gets control of it again, a pass out to the far side, and fight for it. It's knocked out of bounds by Brookline. Number 24, or no, it's still in bounds. My mistake. Finn McCabe passes it across to Hluchwayo. Now sends it up the near side to Matt Foley. And Hluchwayo's kick knocked out of bounds by Jeffrey Dong. Hluchwayo throws it in, aiming for Jack Quigley, but it's headed away by Travis Applebaum, kicked back by James Miner off a couple of heads. Controlled now by Jacob Friedman, taps it back to Lockwood, up to Grady Ames, over to Friedman. Friedman fends off the defense and dribbles up with it. Now sends a crosser, cut off by Hluchwayo, but recovered by Dovillier. Denmark Dovillier tries a pass, cut off by Michael Hutchinson, and now booted out by McCabe. Out of bounds, Brookline ball. Applebaum throws it in, tapped back. Applebaum kicks it, deflects off Ames's foot, controlled briefly by Lawrence. McCabe almost disrupted. Ames recovers, long shot, sliced it wide. Keeper boots it off the head of DeCesar, downed by Jack Fitzgerald. Gets it to Dong. Across to Applebaum. Applebaum sends it up. Friedman tried to push it along, but cut off there by number 5, Matt Theodore. Pass forward. Now a scrum for it, lost out of bounds. Now kicked up by Miner. Bouncing along, Hutchinson, his shot high. That might have been the best look that St. John's has had so far today, and Hutchinson just couldn't get on top of it enough off the high bounce, and he lifts it over the bar. Smagula Boots it, deflected. Lockwood taps it back. Spicer kicked up to Dauvilliers. Back to Ames. Ames sends a curving leading pass, and it's cut off by Miner and cleared out. Applebaum now sends it up to Lawrence. Lawrence kicks one across. Stopped by Foley, but disrupted. Dauvilliers tries to tap it, blocked by Miner. And now out Foley comes with it. Foley kicks one off the head of Fitzgerald. Race for the ball now. DeCesar controls it. Pass back to Kulalis. Kulalis tries a kick, blocked and cleared out. Hlachwayo boots it back into the box. And whoa, almost fumbled there by Smagula as he caught that one around the shoestrings. But he does get control. Now punts it, downed. And Lockwood gets a foot on it, sends it outside to Spicer. Now up to Dong. Dong out to Spicer. Now sends it up the line for Dong. Dong dribbling, looking, pass across. Lockwood out to Applebaum. Applebaum looking. Kind of ran out of room there, and it's taken away by Hutchinson. Up to Quigley, his kick deflected out of bounds. Throw in, booted away by Applebaum and chased down an open space by McCabe. Out to Hlachwayo. His kick blocked by Dong. Off ahead, Ames kicks it upfield to Dauvilliers. Dauvilliers running up with it. Dauvilliers tries to cut, gets tripped up. No call, Dauvilliers recovers. Pass out to Dong. Dong fakes. Pass. Ames. No one wanted to take a shot, and they took too long. It's booted away by St. John's. Smagula boots it away, a bit dangerous there. And I think they called offsides as Friedman was trying to come back for it. But he was technically behind the defense and then was the next one to touch it, so that does make it an illegal touch. Miner boots it. This one rolling down the near side, out of bounds, St. John's ball. Just under 33 minutes still on the clock here in the second half, but no score from either side at this stage. Hlachwayo throws it into the box. Deflected, kicked back, and cleared out by Ames. That one a little dangerous as Smagula kind of got knocked away from the ball in that scrum inside the box, but a Brookline defender got his foot on it. Now this throw in deflects back out, and I'm not sure if they called offsides or a high kick or something, but they called some kind of a violation on St. John's, and so it'll be a free kick for Brookline. Over to Fitzgerald, to Smagula. Pass a bit dangerous, but gets it around Magnuson. Now this is Dong with it. Cutting across, passes back to Littman, back to Smagula. Smagula boots it upfield off the head of Hutchinson. Littman recovers it. Pass up to Dong. Slide tackle by Hutchinson takes it away. Long shot misses wide. Couple subs checking in for Brookline now. Among them, Koya Nicoli and Santi Sierra. Smagula boots it off the head of McCabe, and Spicer couldn't corral that one, and it goes out of bounds, Eagles ball. Hutchwile throws it into the box, bouncing and taken off the bounce by Smagula, who then gets knocked over. And so it'll be a free kick for Smagula as DeCesar knocked him over on that play. Even if that one had gotten into the net, I don't think it would have counted as it was off the throw-in from Hutchwile. You can't throw it into the net. Brookline working it up the far side. Pass up. Now a crosser. Lawrence shot saved! Great pass from Ames to Lawrence, but a great save on the far side corner by the St. John's keeper there. Dong takes this one back. Pass back. Lockwood. Lockwood sends a leader down the far side for Santi Sierra. Sierra pops it up in the air. Lockwood tried to control it, but stolen away by Hutchinson. Now far side, near side rather, this is Foley. Foley to McCabe. Has to pass back to Hutchwile, up to McCabe. Boots it across, far side for Kulali. Now back and boot it up. Race to the ball and rolls out the back end. Littman with the box out job to make sure. And it'll be a goal kick. Fitzgerald. Back to Smagula. Kicks it up the far side, bouncing along. Lawrence corrals it. Couldn't spin off his defender. Rolls out of bounds. Lawrence a quick throw in, leading for Sierra. Sierra charging in with it. Stops, looks, taps back, aims, looking, juking, shoots, and it's wide. Wide of the far side post on that shot. Brookline generating some noticeable offensive pressure here in the second half. Following up on the momentum that they built late in the first half. Keeper with the goal kick. Deflects down, coming out with it is St. John's. A pass for Foley. Foley with some space to work. Crosser flies, deflects, but right to Magnuson. His shot blocked by Littman. And that bounces out the back end. That'll be a corner for the Eagles. It's going to be Hutchinson setting up to send in the corner kick. This one flies in, headed out, headed along by Ames, finds Nicoli. Nicoli racing with it. Nicoli moving upfield, sends a leading pass for Goldberg on the far side. Goldberg dribbling, Goldberg looking, now tries a shot and could not be headed in, just over the head of Dong, and it flies out the back. Brookline with another strong rush. They just can't get the finish that they need to find the back of the net. This one booted upfield. Deflects down. Dong takes it up the near side. Leading pass deflected by McCabe. Nicoli still gets a foot on it but couldn't get it to Ames. As McCabe takes it, we got a player down on the field. That's Roman Hlachwayo, who collided hard with Dong as they were both fighting to get that ball. He's coming up holding his lower back, and he's calling for a substitution. He is walking on his own, which is good. You know, you never root for an injury. No matter what team you're rooting for, you never root for an injury. And hopefully this young man is okay and it'll be a quick recovery. And boy, this is something you're not going to see at a game in Brookline, as the trainer straight up brings out a little truck to drive him off the field in. I mean, it does move things along faster, I'll give it that. So they go for the drop ball, and St. John's controls it. Pass goes back to Minor. Minor kicks it upfield, knocked back by Fitzgerald. Battle around the middle. Nicoli, pass up to Ames, knocked away by Minor. Pass missed by Brookline, taken away by Quigley, sending a leader for DeCesar, but racing out to scoop it up is Smagula. The pass just a little too far. Smagula boots it up to Lawrence. Too much traffic taken away by Hutchinson. Pass out to Foley. Foley sending one for Magnuson, and Fitzgerald disrupted it just enough for Littman to boot it away. Dong controlling it now. Taps it back for Josh Bittner, who just lost track of where he was and kicked it out of bounds. Subs coming in on both sides. That slows down the attempted rush throw in by the Eagles. Friedman and Dovillier coming back in for Brookline. For St. John's, I see Leaf Johnson, Brecken Curran, Sam Sibella among the subs checking in, and also Owen Beanie. Johnson throws it into the box, headed out, and kicked away by Lawrence. And now Dovillier breaking off to run with it. Slide tackle by McCabe. Disrupts. Dovillier stays with the ball, but lost some speed there. Now trying to juke around. Try to pass. Cut off by McCabe. The clear goes right to Lawrence, though. Lawrence whiffed on the kick, and it rolls out of bounds. Lawrence saw an opening, tried to rush the shot there, but in rushing it, kind of slipped and sent it off the side of his foot, and kind of rolled it off the side of his foot rather than properly kicking it. And it's a goal kick for St. John's. This one deflects off DeCesar. Kept in bounds, but taken away by Sierra. Pass up to Dovillier. Dovillier lost control there, and it's taken away by the Eagles. Pass up to Sibella, back to Curran. Now this one blocked by Bittner, but goes out of bounds. Just over 23 minutes on the clock here in the second half. Still no score. Throw in from Levis, deflected back by Bittner. Levis taps it for Beanie. Pass intercepted by Lawrence. Lawrence pass intercepted by Curran. Curran's kick. Across, tapped forward, tapped back by Littman. Recovered by McCabe. Now up to Hutchinson. Hutchinson kick off the face of DeCesar, but deflects away. And stolen back now by Beanie. Up to Sibella. Sibella's pass redirected, goes back, but taken by Levis. Levis winds and kicks one, but he slices it. Goal kick for Brookline now. And Not sure what happened there, but it looks like a sub coming in for Brookline. Couple subs, I think. I see Ben Spicer back in the game for the Warriors. And I think Travis Applebaum is back in as well. Smagula boots it. Headed back. Beanie taps it out to Curran. Curran upfield, knocked back by Littman. Off ahead. Corralled by Bittner. Taps it forward, but it's sent back up to McCabe. Stolen away by Bittner, and Bittner pulled down by McCabe. Foul is called. Littman setting up for the free kick. Littman deflected down and kicked out. Controlled now by, I believe, DeCesar. Pass out to Curran. Curran couldn't fend off Nicoli. Nicoli sends a pass kicked away by Minor. Beanie out to Curran, back to Beanie. Sliding in to take it is Dovillier, but couldn't keep control of it. Pass goes up to Sabella, disrupted by Goldberg. Kicked away by Spicer, knocked back by Levis. Beanie tapping it for himself. Beanie trying to fight through traffic. Too much traffic taken by Nicoli over to Bittner. Now up to Ames. Ames dribbling, boots a leader, and it's knocked away by Minor, but it's not out of bounds, and Goldberg chasing after it. He just lets it roll out. Smart, because now Brookline gets a corner kick. Just over 20 minutes on the clock. We're about halfway through the second half. Still no score. Goldberg being flanked by Friedman. Goldberg boots it in. Too high, but still deflecting around. Out of the box now. Dovillier recovers. Passes it back a little wide, but Applebaum managed to chase down, send it across to Spicer. Spicer kicks it up, deflects. Nicoli taps it. Dovillier taps it. Whistle was blown for offsides, no goal. Danmarth Dovillier had such a golden chance there, but part of that golden chance was that he was past the defense and offsides. No one there for DeCesar to pass to, and it's taken by Smagula easily. Rolls it into Spicer. Spicer battling with Sabella, lost out of bounds. St. John's ball. Levis, booted away by Spicer again. Stays Eagles ball. Now Johnson throwing it in. The Eagles crowd the box. Throw in flies in. Oh, it's through the hands of Smagula, but it's booted out. Jonah Littman just saved Alex Smagula from making a costly mistake as it went right through his hands and was headed into the net, but Littman boots it away. Clutch defensive play there as this one's headed out, and now Brookline racing on the counter. Friedman running upfield, being chased from behind by McCabe, and too physical there as Friedman shoves McCabe over. McCabe just had more speed and was able to cut off Friedman. And it'll be a free kick for the Eagles. Minor boots it. Bouncing in, and it's taken off the hop by Smagula. Smagula punts it, deflects, off ahead. Friedman kicks a leader. Nicoli trying to race in, but he's cut off by Levis, and it's an easy pickup for the keeper. Throws it into Curran. Curran looking around. Pass back. McCabe back to Curran. Curran boots it upfield. Knocked away by Littman into open space. Goldberg corrals it to Friedman. Friedman up in the air. Deflects back. Booted up by Goldberg. Cutting it off is Littman. And it rolls out the back end, and it's a goal kick as Littman boxed him out. Subs checking in on both sides. For Brookline, Jad Torres and Maury Shende Ruiz check in, replacing Friedman and Dovillier. And I think that's Grant Magnuson coming back in for the Eagles. Smagula pops it up in the air. Off the deflection, it's tapped forward by Beanie. Bouncing around, and Sabella comes out with it. Sabella taps to the outside to Curran. Curran, crosser, cut off by Smagula. Smagula punts it. Ames taps it, and that's going to fly out of bounds. St. John's ball. 15.5 minutes on the clock here in the second half. And still no score. But I think a game like this just goes to show you how exciting a soccer game can still be even with no points on the scoreboard. Because we've had some real exciting plays today. Now a throw in for Brookline as some more subs check in. Throw in to Shende Ruiz. Surrounded, it's taken away by the Eagles. Pass up, Magnuson tries to send a leader, but it's cut off by Applebaum and tapped out of bounds. Off the throw-in, goes off the head of Lawrence. Magnuson back to Levis. Levis sends it forward, deflects towards the box. Now straight up in the air, and it goes out of bounds. Smagula couldn't keep it in bounds, and it'll be a corner kick. 14 minutes to go in what is still a scoreless tie. Corner kick comes in low, headed over the bar. Another scary chance for the Eagles, but again, it sails high. That one went off the head of McCabe. But just couldn't get the downward angle he wanted. Smagula's kick came in low and went off the body of Magnuson, but out of bounds. It'll simply be a Brookline throw-in. Throw-in, deflects, pass to the middle, Sabella taps it out, shot, deflected, still a dangerous chance inside the box. The shot was blocked as came off the foot of Foley. Lawrence trying to race for it, but he's cut off by McCabe. Passed back to Minor, now kicked up. McCabe sends a leader, but nobody there. Smagula rolls it into Speicher. Speicher boots it up. Deflects over to Shende Ruiz, but couldn't get control of it. It's kicked away. Knocked back by Lockwood. Deflects back and forth, controlled by Beanie. Pass outside, sent up the line. That's Magnuson. Passing it back. Kulali couldn't touch it inbounds. It goes just out. Throw in. Goes off a couple players. Shende Ruiz trying to kick it out of traffic. He does. Applebaum boots it up. Torres racing in. Torres could not get it away from Miner, and Miner clears it. Downed by Lockwood. Lockwood past the outside Lawrence. Back to Applebaum. Upfield to Shende Ruiz. Blocked by Johnson. Swooping in and tapping it was Lawrence, but McCabe kicks it away. Deflects. Lockwood takes control. Passes across to Speicher. Speicher up the line. Dong. Dong. Pass back Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald boots it upfield. Skips along. And finally controlled by Miner over to Levis. Up to Foley. Foley passes away to McCabe. McCabe lost his footing but gets the pass away to Foley. Now back to Levis. Levis pops it up in the air. Kicked back by Littman. Deflects back Lawrence. Lawrence sliced that one, and you can tell he's frustrated with the way that one flew as it goes out of bounds. More subs coming in. Friedman and Dovillier back in for Brookline, replacing Torres and Shende Ruiz. Just over 10 minutes left. This throw-in goes off the head of Applebaum. Bouncing. Controlled now by the Eagles. The pass blocked out of bounds. Throw in. Headed down. Booted up by Magnuson. Off the head of Speicher. Headed down and booted away by Littman. Headed forward by Lawrence. Blocked down by, I think, Johnson. Now a battle for the ball. It's a dangerous crosser. Shot was knocked. Not in. Now it's in. Matthew Foley finally breaks the scoreless tie after a series of collisions in the box. And with 9:26 on the clock, we have a goal on the board. And we've also got an Eagles player down holding his head. I think that's Grant Magnuson, who is down. A chaotic play in the goal box there, and a number of players colliding with each other, causing that ball to ricochet several different ways before it finally wound up at the foot of Matt Foley, who knocked it in for a wide-open score. Hopefully Magnuson is okay. Soccer is one of those sports with a serious concern about head injuries, so you always want to play it safe when you see a kid go down holding his head. And now Magnuson back on his feet. Walking off on his own, good sign. He'll probably be coming out of the game. And I'd say it's, just guessing here, I'd say it's pretty likely that we're probably not going to see him for the rest of the game. Because when you come out with a head injury, they're going to be as precautious as can be. 9 minutes and 26 seconds on the clock as the Eagles break this game open with the first goal of this contest. 1-0 now the score in favor of St. John's, and this changes up the fabric of the game entirely, as now Brookline is going to be forced to play a lot more aggressively, and you can see that right from the fact that they've got Jonah Littman, one of their center backs, up on offense. Meanwhile, St. John's can just sit back and focus on defense to preserve their lead, try and play the possession game, and kill some clock. That one's sliced out of bounds. Dong setting up to throw it in. Bouncing along, Sabella pops it up in the air. Off the head of Lawrence. Off another head. Downed by Lawrence. Boots it upfield. Friedman racing after it. Friedman sends a crosser across. Nobody quite there. It's kicked away by McCabe. Now Speicher. Pass it back up to Friedman. Taps it for Dong, but misses out of bounds. Sub coming in for St. John's. Looks like Brecken Curran replacing J.J. Kulalis. Sabella throws it in off the head of Dong. Deflects down. Foley kicks it across to Curran. Curran kicks it up for DeCesar. DeCesar battling with Applebaum, gets a pass away. Now it's taken and a shot. Diving save by Smagula. And it's booted away by Applebaum, but recovered. A shot from... No, they say it went out the back line before Brookline kicked it away, and so it's actually going to be a corner kick for St. John's. A nice save by Alex Smagula. But now a corner chance for the Eagles. This one flies in, goes off the outside of the net, and it'll be a goal kick. Smagula boots it, deflects towards the middle where it's taken by Ames. Ames pass up for Dovillier, tapped and kicked away from Lawrence by Minor, and it slides all the way across midfield and is taken by the Eagles. Kicked up for DeCesar. Chase it down, but could not keep it in bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in. We got an injured Brookline player that appears to be Wally Lawrence. Looking a little hobbled, but it looks like he's just going to play through it. You know, we are still in the dog days of early fall where things are just hot enough that, you know, you see a player looking hobbled and you can hope that it's just cramps. Dong boots this one straight up in the air. Downed by Beanie. Pass gets through. Hutchinson trying to break through. Battling with Dong. Gets the pass away to Foley. Foley trying to find some room. Gets through Speicher. Pass to Beanie. Beanie weaving. Pass gets to Foley. Foley. Crosser off the hand of Smagula. Off the head and high. An open look at the net, and again, the trajectory just goes high for St. John's. And Brookline has got to find a way to get the ball to the other side of the field and get on the attack with 5.5 to go. Long kick from Speicher goes off the head of Minor. And a battle for the ball, and McCabe boots it away. Smagula passes it out to Applebaum. Applebaum boots it upfield, deflects off the foot of Johnson, I believe. And so the keeper has to come out and boot it away. And it's still in bounds, unbelievably. And DeCesar breaks away with it. DeCesar charging in his shot, launched high. Once again, when you sell out for the offense because you're trailing, this is kind of the risk you run, is that sometimes your defense can be caught on the counter. The scoreboard clock is frozen at 5 minutes to represent stoppage time as another pass missed by Brookline. Sabella throws it in. Bouncing along. Foley running out of room, kicks across her, caught by Smagula. Smagula punts it. Knocked down. Sabella, pass up to Hutchinson. Outside Curran. Pass back. Now pass forward. Nice movement set up for Quigley, but he was cut off by Fitzgerald and Smagula takes it. Smagula punts it. Deflected down. Lawrence couldn't keep control of it. Off the ricochet, it's Curran. Kicked back by Speicher now. Friedman taking control of it. His pass deflected and kicked back. And Foley goes over the head of Lockwood. Foul is called. A free kick for Brookline. We don't know how much time we've got left because of stoppage time, so it's just a matter of when the ref gives us the triple whistle to signal the end of the game. Fitzgerald setting up for the free kick. Flies towards the box, over everyone's head, and that's going to bounce out of bounds. Goal kick, flies far side, and it's kicked away by Applebaum. Downed, fighting for it. Dauvilliers comes out with it, but he's surrounded, and it's taken away by McCabe. McCabe leading kick for Quigley. Cut off by Fitzgerald. Passes it back to Smagula. And Smagula just barely boots that one away. Headed back by Levis, and off the head of Lockwood, and off the head of McCabe. Booted by Levis. Beanie tried to control it, but kicked away by Lockwood. Now Friedman takes control. Pass, cut off. Intended for Lawrence. It was knocked away by Waskelowitz. Now taken by Applebaum, going up the far side, sending a leading kick for Ames. Ames controls it, turns around, looking, crosser into the box, off the head of Nicoli, but wide. Another nice look for Brookline that just misses the net. We've seen a number of those on both sides today. Only one shot has found the back of the net so far. That one coming from Matt Foley. Goal kick. Bouncing along. Applebaum kicks it out of bounds. Throw in. Deflects. Headed forward and too far forward for Hutchinson. Picked up by Smagula. He punts it upfield. Bouncing along, off ahead. McCabe fighting through multiple players, finally knocked loose. Lawrence is down, and now he looks really hurt. Lawrence has come up hobbled a couple of times today, and now he's not coming back up. You know, again, it's hot enough weather that you hope it's just a cramp from dehydration. Because like I said earlier, with some of the other players that have come off, you never want an injury. Lawrence coming off the field. And so now they got to figure out who had possession and who gets the drop ball. And it was Brookline that had control. And so this one going to be dropped in front of Applebaum, and Brookline is bringing the house, including Smagula. Even Alex Smagula racing up. The kick from Applebaum is sliced out of bounds by Johnson. And I think a timeout has been called by Brookline. During this timeout in the closing minutes, a reminder, this game is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Intensity picking up as Brookline will have a throw-in deep in the St. John's end. And with us being in the middle of stoppage time, it's hard to say how much time we got left, but given that Brookline even has their goalie Alex Smagula playing up on offense, you can only speculate that there's not much time left in this one. Brookline trying to get a miracle last-minute goal to tie this one up and see if they can at least escape with a tie. They're crowding the box. The throw-in flies in, and it's caught by the keeper. And that is going to seal it. The triple whistle blown right after. And that is your ball game. The final score, the St. John's Prep Eagles 1, the Brookline Warriors 0. A close, hard-fought contest, a lot of near misses for both teams' offenses, but ultimately the only shot that found the back of the net was the one by St. John's number 9, Matt Foley. And so that is how it will end. Brookline falls to 0-4-1 on the year. And that is going to do it for this broadcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Once again, if you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. Thank you again to Esch Dental for sponsoring this broadcast. Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esch, for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com. All information you can find in the description section down below. along with the link to the official Venmo account for the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club. If you would like to donate some money to support Brookline High Soccer, all 6 teams, boys and girls, varsity, JV, and freshmen. Also, the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation, if you would like to support one of their many causes. And also some links in the description section that you can also find in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or you can skip past all that and just email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And don't forget to follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams and the links to upcoming live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Final score, St. John's 1, Brookline 0. From St. John's Prep in Danvers, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.